The Joe Rogan Experience.
So we decided to have this conversation because of what's going on with you in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
And that your clinical psychology license is in jeopardy because you have opinions about politics that they disagree with, which is a very dangerous and bizarre turn of events.
Well, it's your fault, actually. You know, I told you, I think, a week or so ago when we talked about this. Okay, so let me give you some background here. So
I want to know how it's my fault.
I will. I'll tell you. A lot of things are your fault, as it turns out.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the College of Psychologists has basically levied what are equivalent to about 13 lawsuits against me simultaneously. Now, the reason I call them lawsuits is because they're actions undertaken on behalf of a complainant. Now, the complainant can be anyone anywhere in the world who complains about me for any reason. They don't have to be former clients. They don't even have to be anybody I've ever met. They don't even have to have met anybody I've ever met. So, you know...
So it could be someone online.
Well, it is. All this is pretty much... All these complaints are someone online. None of them are my clients, although half of them claim to be falsely. And the college didn't throw out their complaints despite that. So, which is really quite interesting.
And what are the complaints?
Well, okay, let's see. One complaint is about the tweet I made about Ellen or Elliot Page, and when I said that a criminal physician cut off her breasts and that pride was the sin. So now I'm in trouble again because I just said the same thing. One was about Sports Illustrated cover where they featured that overweight model, and I tweeted out "not beautiful," and I guess that was something like fat shaming. I don't remember exactly what the charge was. And then I criticized Justin Trudeau and a former staff member of Justin Trudeau and Jacinda Ardern. I made a joke about her. I was going to New Zealand, and the New Zealand leftist press was freaking out, and I made this joke about bringing my alt-right trolls to New Zealand, and then I put in parentheses, or maybe they're just, you know, ordinary people who are trying to clean up their rooms. So apparently that was casting the profession into disgrace. And then they submitted, one complainant from the U.S. submitted the entire transcript of our last discussion. So, you know, I don't know how to defend myself against that because apparently everything I say and apparently everything you say too is bringing the profession of psychology into disgrace. And I think they're most upset in that case about my comments about the inadequacy of climate models. And so, you know...
Stopping it there, and welcome to Make Your Reaction Reviews, where we react to things on the internet. And yes, brand new background already. I have moved yet again to a much nicer and quieter area of town, and oh my god, it's done a lot for my sanity. And I'm also filming back on my phone. I still have my camera, but I'm gonna do my longer videos on my phone because it just takes so long to transfer the footage from my camera to my phone if it's a long video, and this is a 9-minute video, so I'm assuming this is going to be a bit longer of a video. So anyway, if you haven't heard, they are after Dr. Jordan Peterson's license, his psychologist or therapy license that he's had for many years, and no one has attacked him until he became the Dr. Jordan Peterson that we know of today, and kind of said some unpopular things and went against the narrative or against the grain. Now, I don't agree with everything Dr. Jordan Peterson says or how he says it or how he goes by things, but definitely not to the point where you strip his license away. I thought you got your license stripped away if you did malpractice or you really broke the law or did something really horrendous. Going against sort of the fat positivity or the trans activist cult or dictator Trudeau doesn't really rise to the level of stripping Dr. Jordan Peterson of his license. Anybody who hates Dr. Jordan Peterson or think he's some sort of monster or think he's some sort of misogynist pig, you haven't listened to Dr. Jordan Peterson. Again, I don't agree with everything he said, but the guy just speaks common sense and he's helped so many freaking people. It's like someone who helped people lift themselves up and get their shit together and get their lives together, which is best for that person's individual life, for that person's community and family, and for society and the system. It seems like you want that person to be out there, but it seems like they want to promote more degeneracy. They want to promote people that tell you that you are oppressed and that you are a victim. They want to promote people that tell you to get on drugs and drink alcohol and be sexually loose and sexually liberated or whatever, which sexual liberation, I don't have a problem with that. But it's like if it's not this ultra progressive message that's at the end of the day, when it comes to progressive policies, have been proven just to destroy people's lives rather than help, besides your basic, civil rights and stuff like that. It's just like they want you to get the advice from people that's going to keep you stuck and complacent. But when someone comes along to help you move forward in life, they want to destroy that human being. They want to destroy his reputation. They want to demonize that person. Dr. Jordan Peterson has done nothing that is to the level of evilness that they will try to make up in their minds that he's done. So this is really ridiculous. I don't know how much of a case or how much his license is actually threatened, or if this is just frivolous and it's not going to really go anywhere. I'm hoping that that's what the case is. But if they really strip his license away, oh my God, the left or people who hate him are going to dance in the streets. But honestly, it's just going to really prove everyone's point of if you do not follow lockstep with the neo-Marxist, communist, fucking socialist, ultra uber progressive narrative, you don't march with the regime, it's going to be 1984 in your ass, and they are going to basically silence you. They're just proving the point, and they're just going to push more people more and more radical and more distrustful of the system, of the institutions, right? It's scary. And you already have doctors out there now that's terrified to tell the truth. It's these doctors who won't talk to the parents and these adolescents who feel they have gender dysphoria or feel they're in the wrong body. They're terrified to say the truth because they don't want to get their license taken away from them. The doctors who were against the narrative when it came to the 2-year pandemic, they were terrified to speak the truth. They were terrified to say what they really felt, or their license would be stripped away from them. Do you want to really live in a world where you literally can have something you worked for decades and generations taken away from you because you just speak your mind, that you have your own opinions, that you go against the narrative? This is freaking crazy. And I'm going to actually react to a Russell Brand video where he talks about the fact that the FDA is trying to sneak in a policy saying just that doctors cannot recommend anything that go against our narrative. It's fucking insane. Anyway, that's enough of me ranting. Let's get back into the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Here we go.
Part of the reason I'm pursuing this action with regard to the Ontario College of Psychologists, well, there's 2 reasons, really. 3. One is, leave me the hell alone, guys. You've been on my case nonstop for 7 years, not once before that, in 20 years of practice. There's no complaints ever levied against me. It wasn't until I started to become, relatively well-known publicly that the college came after me. And 7 years of that gets to be a bit much, especially now that there's 13 lawsuits compiled up, and all of them are for political opinions, and half of them have been put forward on false grounds. But even that's not enough for me to engage in the battle. The reason I'm engaging in the battle is, well, first of all, you want me to do social media retraining so I communicate better according to your experts? It's experts by what criteria exactly? What's a social media communication expert? You got any documentation that even exists as a field? And how do you know that if you have that social media expert train me that I'm going to be a better therapist? There's no body of data that suggests that in the least. So I'm not going down that route.
We should explain that because
so I've already been sentenced, right? Yes. This isn't a threat by the college. This is what the situation already is. I haven't been hauled in front of their disciplinary board yet, but they've already convicted me of disgracing the profession and sentenced me to an indefinite period of re-education. And that's the second most serious punishment that they can levy against a professional. The first is to take away the license. The second is to undergo this retraining and to publicly announce the necessity for that, which they've already done in my case. And so now I have to sit down with these experts at my expense for an indefinite period of time until I'm trained properly, whatever the hell that means, by the criteria of the so-called experts and the college. And that isn't pending an investigation.
So what I just heard is, A, he's guilty until proven innocent. So this is definitely not the American U.S. judicial system. That's not what they're working with. They just already assume he's the bad guy. And B, they want to re-educate him. Again, how Orwellian. Anyway, let's continue.
That's already in place.
It's such a wild request,
It's-
too. Retraining, just even the way they phrase it, it's so bizarre, so Orwellian.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Well, like I said, it's your
social
fault, you know, because
media.
it's the whole transcript of our last conversation. I don't imagine they'll be that happy with this one. So, but the other reason I'm pursuing it, and to the degree that I'm able to keep my head clear during this process, because it definitely makes me angry, and really made me angry over Christmas when I was spending Christmas going through the minutia of all these bloody lawsuits, trying to figure out what the hell they were up to, instead of, you know, taking a bit of a break and having some time with my family. And so I was very upset about that. But to the degree that I'm upset about it, I'm not doing it right, because this can't be personal, can't be about me. Part of the reason that I want to pursue this, and part of the reason we're pursuing an objection to what they're doing on Charter of Rights grounds in Canada, is because they're interfering with my freedom of conscience and speech. And again,
Freedom of conscience and speech. Like, we've already heard like the attack on freedom of speech, but the attack on consciousness, that is wild. You know, like the thought police. But when you put it in that way, the freedom of consciousness, the freedom to have your individual belief and thoughts, and that's insane. Can you imagine living in a brain? Like, we'll get to the point, you know, because, you know, Elon Musk has the Neuralink coming out, and to a point where you can literally thought police people. Orwellian, dystopian, you know, but positive thoughts. Let's continue.
it isn't even the case that the reason that that's a problem is because it's about me. The reason it's a problem is because the colleges in general, like the regulatory boards of professionals, are doing this to everyone. Lawyers, physicians, teachers, massage therapists. There's all these licensed professions. And if you're a licensed profession, the government establishes a board of your peers to regulate conduct of the professionals. Now, and in a functional time, all that happens then is that generally the people who get in trouble with their own clients, right? With the people they've been dealing with directly. And then the board steps in on the side of the person who's been injured by a pathologically practicing professional. And fair enough. But now it's been weaponized, and it's been weaponized as a political tool too. And it's not like activists don't know that. And it's so preposterous because I have 20 million people following me on social media, and God only knows how many views of my videos, for example, or the interviews you and I have done. It's tens of millions. And how many people complained? 20 out of millions? And then the college didn't have to pursue those complaints. They have to investigate them. So I don't know what they're doing now because, of course, they've been inundated by thousands of complaints about their own behavior. So I have no idea what they're going to do about that. But they didn't have to investigate. They chose to investigate. And as I said, they did that despite the fact that half the complainants claimed to be my clients and weren't.
So that's scary. So basically, any Joe Schmo can just come off the streets and say, oh, yeah, I used to be Dr. Jordan Peterson's client, and he said something fatphobic, and this has hurt me in this way. I am filing a complaint. And completely just make it up, but still be taken seriously a part of this lawsuit or part of the attempt to strip him of his license. You can't tell society to trust the science, trust the doctors, right? When you know the doctors and the scientists are literally cuffed, when they're literally like their tongue is being metaphorically severed, their vocal cords are metaphorically being severed, they're being muffled. They can't really tell you how they feel, or their license will be taken away from them. Science and medicine is supposed to, in some way, be the non-theological Bible of modern times, and we're supposed to be able to trust it. But when you are hearing more and more, like John Hancock talks about this, how political and how cultish these circles really are, and how much scientists or doctors or researchers can't really say what they feel, or their entire career might be ruined. How are we supposed to trust it then? Let's continue.
So what we have here is we have 13 people who complained about me hypothetically doing harm to someone they didn't know, to someone who they didn't know, anyone who knew, as a consequence of things I said on social media. And that all of them, not only were they fourth-hand claims of harm, which, no psychologist would ever claim that a fourth-hand account of harm constituted a valid measurement. So the bloody college is violating its own measurement standards by even pursuing this. But so not only are they based on fourth-hand information and then an outright lie, which is they were clients of mine, they're also predicated on the assumption that it's okay to go after a professional for expressing political criticism. Because like literally half of them are, well, I said something about Trudeau. I said something about one of his top aides. I said something about Jacinda Ardern. I said something about an Ottawa city councillor in relationship to the trucker convoy. I said something about climate. Every single one of the complaints is political. And so why is that a problem? Well, see if you can figure it out for yourself. That'd be the first answer. And the second is, I have a friend in Canada, very well-known physician, international reputation, and a reasonably decent secondary income stream. And when this all hit, I reached out to him. He's a very brave guy. He's done a lot of writing that could easily get him in trouble. I said, look, maybe I could get you and Bruce Party, this lawyer at Queen's University, who's gone after essentially the college that functions for lawyers. I said, we should do 3 letters, same time, saying, that the colleges are chilling free speech in Canada with psychologists, with physicians, and with lawyers. And he said he didn't have his house in order enough to dare to take on the college. And the problem with that is that I don't know anybody in Canada who's a physician that's more well-situated than him or braver. And even he was loath to do it. He'll do it eventually, but not now.
All right, guys, that was Dr. Jordan Peterson on Joe Rogan explaining the situation when it comes to their attempt to strip him of his license. This is crazy, the world that we're moving into, but hopefully the pendulum is swinging the other way and people will see what's happening and realize I don't want this to be the future, my children's future, my grandchildren's future, where I live in a world where I literally can't think for myself and I can't have my own opinions or my life will be ruined. This is redonkulous, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get some notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop, links down below, and links to all of the alternative platforms I'm on, my socials, including my minds.com, my Rumble account, my Odyssey, my Discord, my Twitter, and all the links to all the other YouTube channels I have is in the description box below in the community tab or in the about section of this channel. And if you like, you can super thanks. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle. I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below. Also in the comment section, hit the link, go subscribe to my travel vlog channel, and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date. And you guys have an amazing day.